Hi everybody.
Hi there.
Well, this intro is for our visit to Yellowstone National Park. Fantastic place. I mean, we can't say enough about it. Just stunning. Photography doesn't do it justice. You have to visit it. Sorry for the road noise in the background. There's nothing we can do about it. But going back to the photography, I tried every day. How many days were we there?
We went into the park 8 days.
8 days.
Yeah.
8 days, wonderful days spent in Yellowstone. And the photography, I mean, it was great, but it looks so surreal, as the daughter said, sent her some pictures just taken with the cell phone, and she answered back, she said, it looks like a painting. But really great. And one tip, if you all happen to be coming from that particular direction, now we went into Yellowstone from Teton National Park. And rather than get outside of the national parks and take big highways and all that, we figured we'd just drive north through the Teton National Park and into Yellowstone. And oh my gosh, what a wonderful experience it was. You can do it easily with our travel trailer, which is, 29-footer, and our pickup truck. There was a couple of high elevations, but no problem. But just so beautiful scenery, and rolling along at a gentle 40 miles an hour or so, 45 max. It was a great.
It was a very relaxing travel day.
Yeah, it was a wonderful way to travel.
Except for wanting to stop.
Yeah.
We couldn't stop with the trailer.
It couldn't stop as much as we wanted to, but we got to our destination just fine. And we did that in early August, so definitely, July, late July, August.
Late July, early August.
Yeah, and just to give you an idea of what weather we experienced, I can't recommend that drive enough. That was definitely the way to go if you want a relaxing way on for a travel day of moving your rig. That's the way to go. I, of course, wouldn't do it with a Class A. It's pretty tight in some areas, but otherwise it was just fine. So we got a lot of great footage of Yellowstone, and we really hope you enjoy it. And thanks so much for all of you folks, your great comments, following us, subscribing. It's been wonderful, and if you haven't subscribed, please consider doing so. And we have not just our travel videos, we have maintenance videos and our silly videos where we share all the stupid mistakes we make, in the hopes that it will help somebody so they don't have to make the mistakes that we did, and some things we learned along the way. So that's my plug for the channel, and thanks so much, guys. Thank everybody for watching, and we'll see you later.
Take care.
Bye.
Hi, I'm Sandy.
And I'm Ed.
And this is General, our totally awesome water dog.
We used to live on the Outer Banks in North Carolina, but one day we found both of ourselves unemployed.
So we decided to take a chance. We sold everything, bought a trailer, and left to explore America. We're learning as we go along, but we still make mistakes.
But we get a lot of things right too. So come join us as we learn to RV full-time, explore America, and share in our exciting journey of discovery. Our next adventure is just over the hills.
We drove through Grand Teton National Park and through Yellowstone National Park to get to the place where we would be camping in West Yellowstone. And the scenery was absolutely gorgeous in spite of the couple areas that we passed through that had been burnt by fire. We weren't really able to pull over and stop much since we were hauling the trailer, but we tried to get some pictures of our journey through the park that travel day. We absolutely loved our campsite outside of West Yellowstone. It was absolutely beautiful. And the town of West Yellowstone itself is pretty cute little town. Definitely touristy, got a lot of shops, a lot of restaurants, but it's a pretty cute town. On our first day of exploring Yellowstone, we decided to head towards Norris from Madison, and the first place that we stopped at is called the Terrace Spring, and we were so excited to walk up our first boardwalk because boardwalks are very popular around here, so this was just awesome.
Well, this is a spring, a bubbling spring, and it's amazing. Like Sandy just said, you can feel the heat coming off. I mean, we're getting hit with this hot, moist air. Isn't that awesome? Oh yeah, the mineral content's amazing. You can see it's colored everything. You got that. Something flowing down from up there and it's steaming. Yeah, here's a good one. Nature's hot tub. And here's another one. And man, you can see the water's so clear, you can see it bubbling up down below. The minerals.
Next was Gibbon Falls, our very first waterfall.
We are at Barrel Springs, and I'm sure you can hear that noise. Just amazing. It is so hot and moist. Even though it's cold out, I've got a shirt on, a heavy shirt over my regular shirt, and the smell of sulfur. You see how clear the water is? And it goes into this beautiful blue. Oh, I still hope it's recording this noise.
The next group of items that we visited were called the Artist's Paint Pots.
There we
and
go.
This was just
Awesome.
totally awesome. So many different colors. There were mud pots in here. This was just way cool.
Oh, this one's popping pretty good now.
These are called mud pots or paint pots. Bubbly. The ultimate mud pie.
That is so cool.
Hoping you can hear the noise.
When we got up on the hill on the overlook and we're looking down at all these various paint pots, I mean, that's exactly what it looks like as a painter's palette. The scene was just amazing. Our main objective for the day was to get over to the Grand Canyon of the Yellowstone. This did not disappoint. Highly recommend. You have got to see the Grand Canyon of the Yellowstone. No matter how many pictures we took of this area, they all look like paintings. The coloring is just so beautiful.
Yeah. God, good job, baby. Swim on back here. All right. Good boy. Good boy. Good job.
On our next exploring day, we visited the fountain paint pots on the road between Madison and Old Faithful. Look at that boiling mud. There's a lot of activity through this area. Looks like one of the smaller geysers going up out there in the distance. No, it's done. There's the Celestine Pool. So we're in Biscuit Basin, and we got 3 pools, 3 different colors. There's a little bit of boiling going on. Can't see the bottom of this pool. Must be pretty deep. It's a beautiful color. This little guy doesn't have a name, it seems, but it's very pretty. Got all the colors of the rainbow in here. There are a few places in Yellowstone National Park where the park crosses over the Continental Divide, and since it's always been interesting to us to see what elevations we're traveling at, of course we had to get a couple of pictures. And they actually had, next to this one Continental Divide sign, they had some little ponds that had natural growing lily pads in them, and those were very pretty. And since Yellowstone is another one of those national parks that isn't particularly pet friendly, we were able to find this one river spot where we would take him on our way into the park and on our way out of the park, so that he did get some outside time and some water time at that. Ed had a couple more shots that he wanted to do of the Grand Canyon of the Yellowstone. So we went back over into that area again and very quickly went through the overlooks for the lower falls. But then we crossed over the bridge and did some of the overlooks for the upper falls. There is an upper falls, so we got to see that too. We thought this was so cute. Ed had the back door of the truck open because he was doing something in there. And apparently General wanted to go for a ride. So General jumped up in the truck and laid down, and he did not come out for a long time.
So we're getting this storm. I mean, it's raining hard and all, but it's also hailing. Little tiny balls are falling all over the place. Really?
So we came down to see Old Faithful today, and he's right in the middle of the picture. We got maybe 45 minutes to an hour before it erupts. So just wanted to show you some of this landscape. We're back behind the geyser on the trail that goes to some of the other things that you can see. So here's some of the buildings, the lodges, the gift shop, the visitor center, stuff like that. And there's my wonderful husband. Isn't he awesome? But over top of his head, there's some more stuff back there. And behind us, there's springs and geysers and pools all the way around us. Look at how thin the rock is around this little pool. It's another reason why they don't want you walking around in this area. It was pretty late by the time we got to see Old Faithful, so we were driving home very late that evening and got to watch the sunset as we were driving, which was pretty spectacular, bright colors. And we were almost to our campground when we spotted this mama and baby moose off to the side of the road, very close to our campground, probably less than half a mile. And terrible pictures. Bummer that we couldn't have gotten better pictures. We were just taking them through the windshield, but at least we can prove that we saw them. We're waiting in line to get a parking space so we can see the Grand Prismatic Spring. It's supposed to be pretty fantastic. Just look at the amount of water that's coming down the hill from these springs. That's amazing. So this is the runoff from Excelsior Geyser Crater, the first one that you see on this walk. And it kind of turns colors as it goes. I love the bright yellows. But this goes down over the hill and into the river down there. And they said it averages about 4,000 gallons per minute. Next, we drove down Firehole Lake Drive and saw all the pools and springs they had there. So this one is Great Fountain Geyser. And look at the little plateaus that it's built up all over the place. This is so awesome. It's right there in the middle. It's bubbling away. And the sign said that it could erupt between 5:15 and 7:45 tonight. And it's 5 o'clock right now, so.
He won't look this way, but I think this is General's favorite spot in Yellowstone. A little pull-off access next to the Madison River, and beautiful clear water. He gets in every time we come into the park. This is one of the stops we do. He gets in, drinks, and grazes our little cow. He loves the grass.
Next, we visited the Mammoth Springs area, and this scenery getting up to Mammoth Springs is absolutely breathtaking. We drove all the way up to Gardner, Montana, which was a really cute little town. And then we stopped to see the Roosevelt Arch, the original Roosevelt Arch, and then headed back into the park again. When we got back into the Mammoth Springs area, we stopped to see Fort Yellowstone and found these elk just grazing and laying in this yard at the fort like they've done it every day of their lives. They were so comfortable, didn't care that there were a ton of people watching them. That was just pretty amazing. And the buildings of Fort Yellowstone, I think most of them are used for employee housing now, but it was kind of cool to see the old buildings from the fort. So we're in the Mammoth Hot Springs area. And I think this is what they call the lower terrace walk. There's water coming down these hills. And this is another cone. We just showed you a picture of that. But look at these layers. And there's water coming down everything. Doesn't that look like ice over there? This landscape was towards the end of the Upper Terrace Drive. And again, so much of this just looks like ice. The way the sunlight is hitting it, it's just beautiful and amazing. Very much reminds me of something out of a Disney movie. So this is Roaring Mountain, and we don't really hear any sounds coming out of it, but I imagine if you got real close you could probably hear something. See the steam vents? There's a big one. Going up towards the top. Littler ones over here.